first of all, it brings together a lot of the stakeholders that mean so much to the game here in Canada, and it's a chance to share ideas and work on things that are going to help the overall game here in this country. And it's something obviously that I think the talent level is certainly rising. We can always do a better job of organizing. We got to get the provinces to work with the federations, with the federation. We got to get the provinces to work together, and I think that overall there's a number of initiatives that we're looking at trying to push through, but it's also about idea gathering and finding out what the people's needs are with respect to trying to grow the game. Today it was a chance to have a board meeting, and we got some business accomplished, and any time that you get the group together and you start talking about the things that need to be addressed, certainly fundraising is one of them. The overall development of the fundraising is certainly something that we're focused on. But it's a great opportunity as we bring everyone together to also have a very, very big platform and stage for Patrick Baumann to be here. Patrick Baumann being the head of FIBA, one of the most powerful men in the game of basketball around the world, and to hear some of his ideas about where the game's going worldwide and globally. So, we're excited to have Patrick here, and I'm anxious to hear what he has to say and what he has to share tonight. But it'll be a great opportunity because I've had the opportunity to meet with him in a different forum on multiple occasions, but to see him here and let a number of the people here for the first time listen to him and get to know him, I think is a good opportunity.
Now, obviously coming from the States where basketball is far bigger, I mean, what do you see there that can maybe be brought over to Canada in terms of growing the game? Is it at a grassroots level? Is it tapping into maybe the multiculturalism of the country?
I don't know about, that obviously would be a benefit to it, tapping into the multiculturalism, but, you're talking about a much bigger country. It's a game that has really taken on a whole new meaning. It's widely played, it's widely watched. It doesn't compete necessarily with a sport. I think it's called hockey up here, but they've got access to different things that we've struggled with. It's funding from a government level, and we're working on those things and trying to branch out in that way. There's a partnership between USA Basketball and the NBA that has been a very beneficial relationship from a revenue standpoint. It gives them resources that we just don't have. Just if you're comparing USA Basketball and Canada Basketball, but more than anything, you've got a game that's been played and developed at an entirely different level. But those are things that we're addressing. Things like development of referees, development of coaches, development of players. Those are all things that we need to do a better job of giving more of a platform from an educational standpoint and even a participation standpoint. And those are things that I think are being worked on. We're making strides in that area. And again, it's tough to compare a country with 300 million to a much smaller base of or population base. Plus, we're a lot more spread out. We've got less urban density in this country. Obviously, here in Toronto, it's a little different, and this is ironically, or not ironically, where a lot of the talent's coming from. And you're going to see a couple of young Canadians drafted here in the NBA's first round. Tristan Thompson is going to be a very high pick. Corey Joseph is going to follow. It's exciting to see that develop. But when you think about it, those are two guys in a pool of roughly 160 players that we're really focused on right now, and quite a few of the others are from the States. And it's just, again, I think it's a mass thing, but it's also about the development that's happened at those grassroots levels up to the more organized and controlled levels. And they've got a much more established university system, clearly, that even the good Canadian players will find a way down to the NCAA institutions because there's more of a platform to be seen and develop their game. And those are the things that we need to work on across the board.
Just want to ask you one more real quick, just about the Toronto Raptors as an organization, their role in growing the sport of basketball.
Well, it's very important, obviously, that we don't just represent the city, Toronto. We represent the entire country of Canada. And, the things that we try to do, whether it's stage our training camp in other locations and, exhibition games in other locations, those are very, very important parts of our spreading the word, if you will, about, the game of basketball. It's not just about spreading the brand, it's spreading the game of basketball and generating interest and awareness in basketball. We've got camps and clinics that we put on throughout the country. There's youth basketball events, 3-on-3 that we've staged in the past. All those things that, take a lot of manpower, a lot of money, and resource, and then we also obviously put a lot of sweat equity into it. We've got a few people on the board. We've got some people that are on various committees that help, discuss the things that we talk about every day about generating awareness in basketball. We've got Maurizio Gherardini, who is the managing director of the senior men's team and has an influence in the Council of Excellence on all the programs that Canada Basketball has in place. And then financially, from a resource standpoint, we participate in a significant way toward, funding of this organization's budget, and call it a sponsorship, call it community donation, call it what you will. We're trying to help make sure that the organization, Canada Basketball, has solid footing. And, it goes along with, Nike and Bell, who have also stepped up and provided, a relationship there and resources along with that relationship. So, these are all things that I think, some of the companies like MLSE, Toronto Raptors, is participating in because it's what's right for the sport. And again, Bell, George Cope is on the board, and it's great to have someone of his prestige and significance on the board, and a man of power that can get things done. And again, it's just something that we think it's very important, especially given the background, the business background that we're in, the industry of sport, but particularly basketball.